Hey, good morning, everyone. Ravi here. I know it's been many months since I did the live stream, and it's a good opportunity to catch up with you. If you're able to hear my voice and able to see me, can you say yes in the comments box? Yeah, I remembered you asked laptop solutions. All right, so today's session is, I think we got another 2 to 3 minutes to go. So let's wait for some time and then we'll start. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat box, and I will be able to really answer by the time people come in. All right, thank you, Naveen, Coach Sherla. I know you joined, I think, recently. All right, let's wait for others to join. How is the day today? I think it's not a easy day, but thankfully I have exited before all the cyclone happened. I exited a little early actually. I usually wait till last minute, but then I think around 1:30 I did.
17 hours.
Which time would be better? I think I'll cover that in the session definitely. Give me a few minutes and I'll do that. All right, so I think we got about 12 people. Maybe let me post this on the Twitter so that if you can probably, if somebody is there, they will join. All right, so let's start. So Darshan, I'm doing very good, and we have Prabhu Vivekanandan just perpetrating today. Okay, that's all right. Okay, let's start. So let me start with the indicator itself, right? So I think most of you would have got the link already, but then let me open that link and then show you. I'll share the screen in a moment. All right, so the present share screen. All right. So this is the indicator. So there are two versions here. So one version is the previous one, which I already shared. And then in fact, today's I think we will actually apply both and then see how it works, right? So, and we also have the second indicator, which I have modified. And then the second indicator got the documentation here. Same thing, but then it's little additional details are there. That's all. So that's the only difference. So now I think the first things first, a lot of people actually got confused on how to even apply the indicator. So for them, I think I'll just show. So you go to, I think you would have got the link already. Go to this one and then click on this. You got to have the thing. In fact, you can directly copy here, copy raw file, as you can see here. So that is one way. If you do not want to do that, you can simply go here and then copy everything. So till here, so copy. So now the next step is to come here. So what I'll do is I will probably open a completely new one. Okay, so so you can actually come here and then say, let's say, in fact, create new, for instance, create new indicator. So that is what you need to do. Once you have this, so what happens? It will actually show that, hey, this is the Pine script and then the version 6 indicator. So this entire thing you need to delete because we will have the indicator already in the code. So that's the reason we should not have. So right now I'm pasting here without making any changes. But Pine script is very easy because I already have the indicator. Let me call this as 2.1 for now so that there is no confusion. So now if I save this, it says 2.1. In fact, it's going to pick up what was written here. Suppose if I say 2.3 here, so it's going to say 2.2 here, sorry, 2.2. So right now, let's say it is 2.1, 2.1, and then say save, and then it says 2.1, and then save the script. Once you save the script, I'm going to delete this for now, and then say add to chart. Once you add to chart, you will be able to see the indicator directly. So I think a lot of times people might do a mistake where there is already code there. So when they try to append to that code, then they will struggle. They'll get some errors. So for instance, if I have indicator here, right? Let's say somebody already have that indicator thing, and then let's say you have indicator, and then put it here, for instance. Some other name, let's say the me name or whatever, or maybe some comments, something like this, right? So then probably this will not really compile. So this is an error. So people might get a issue saying that, okay, this is not actually working. But generally, as I said, the best way is to remove everything and then copy paste and then do the update on the chart. So now probably, I mean, this might look little techy, but then I also want to admit I did not sit and then write the code. I used Claude AI to generate the code, but obviously I made some changes, very few changes. It did not give me a perfect code. I had to make some changes. But this is a working code right now. So it took almost like 30 minutes or 40 minutes for me to complete the coding. Let's say if I do not have the Cloud AI, probably it would take a lot of time. Maybe very quickly, I'll explain the strategy itself, right? So first things first, there are trading minutes, 375. So these are all this is actually applicable to Indian markets where we have 375 trading minutes in a day, starting from 9:15 to 3:30. And then try to use this as one of the thing. You can also change this. And then my view is lot of intraday is absolutely defined by what happens these minutes, right? So now the only thing that I did was generally earlier when I was making some of these indicators, right, I get confused on, let's say if I go to 5 minutes chart, what kind of EMA or SMA that I need to use. So in this case, it automatically picks up the SMA. So in this case, I think it is basically 375 divided by 5. What is the number that comes? So that SMA would actually come here. And then for instance, if I do 15 minutes, it is going to be 375 divided by 15. What is the number that comes? That would be the indicate. That would be the SMA. This is the SMA line. But I think for in order for you to not get into too much of a confusion, you can probably get rid of this SMA. You can just have a simple thing. You can blindly follow. This is what it is. So I'm actually doing, and I was working with some of my friends in US. So all right. So this is a Nifty today. Generally for intraday, I think this is a standard question that people would ask. Intraday, ideally should use 5 minutes. But if you want to do a bit of a long term, maybe weekly, at least 15 minutes or 1 hour, I think weekly is fine. But if you want to do for, let's say, 2 to 3 days, you can still use, let's say, 15 minutes kind of a time frame. For example, if you take 1 hour, there is no, the entry signal came at about 16th of June, and then there is no exit signal at this point of time. And also it predominantly moved from 24,500 to 24,003. So let's say somebody has done a July spread, July end spread. they would have made some good money. I think one advantage with spreads is you would get the inherent time decay advantage. So even let's say if the market, if you make an entry here, even when this moves from here to here, while there is no change in the price, you would still make money because there is a time decay. So that's the good advantage of spreads. That's the reason instead of buying and then selling, I always said spread instead of doing a single trade altogether. And then there is so it's okay. So I will not. I thought I will explain the previous one, but then that's done and dusted. So we will not do that. So previous one obviously would have given more entries and exit. The reason was previous one was based on the exit was based on the SMA, but I felt it's actually giving too many signals. That's the reason I have removed it. Now let's look at the entry criteria, right? Entry criteria is, for instance, here it got to be price got to be above super trend, and also price got to be above the SMA. That's the only entry criteria. So usually in trading, entry got to be really good. So entry got to be when I say really good, entry at least should have 2-3 conditions, or maybe more than 2-3. It's depending on that and depending on your risk appetite. But the exit should have multiple ways to exit. So you should not really depend on one exit. It's basically the way which I could explain is, let's say if somebody is entering a very secured installation or whatever, right? So for them, the entry would be one entry where they will swipe and then everything will be checked multiple times. But the exit got to be multiple. The reason is, let's say if there is a accident or the fire incident, or let's say there is something which is unforeseen thing happen, they would not really exit from the one door. So they'll have to exit from multiple doors. So same thing here, right? So especially in trading, your exit going to be really good, and you should have very good confirmation on the apologies. Your entry got to be really good. You need to have multiple confirmations to get an entry. But exit, you should have multiple ways to exit, not just one way to exit. That way, your life would be a lot more easy. Let's see if you take this as an example, right? So the entry here, as I said, this got to be green. Obviously, this is green here, and then this price has to be above the SMA, which actually happened here. So your exit would be here. I had put only the super trend. So when the price goes below the super trend, you would actually exit the trade. But then is that the only exit for the trade? The answer is no. You can also exit when let's say today morning. I'll explain what I did today morning, right? So that way it is a lot more relevant for today. So here, I just have one indicator. In fact, I use one more screen here. So I just have one indicator here. I did not use any other indicator. So now this actually gave a bull put spread at about 915, which I did, but eventually I think it got into initial losses. But I also entered a trade here, which ideally when I say trade here, it took a bit of a bounce back from the super trend. I added some more quantity. Again, it's my test account, so I use very less quantity, like 300 kind of a thing. So the initial entry was 300 quantity bull put spread here, and then it got into some 2000 rupees losses, and then I added in 3300. So there is a bounce back here. Now you may ask, I mean, now here it's 600 quantity, right? What happens if it goes down? Obviously, I would end up into losses. But then that is one risk that I took today. And then after that, it bounced back, obviously. And then it reached here, somewhere here, it's actually getting consolidated. So today's market was quite dynamic, and I do not know what's going to happen. And also, I thought I will focus on my expiry trades, right? So then I have exited the trade somewhere here instead of waiting till here. Let's see, even if I waited till here, I would have still made money, because pretty much 935 to 120, 220, there would have been a good decay. But anyway, I have eventually exited at about this place. So I think that gave about 0.8% or so. I posted in the Twitter today morning. So that is the trade that I took. This is basically 5 minutes, and then so exit is, so that is one exit, right? So I mean, ideal exit here, but then I exited here mainly because it is getting consolidated. That is one way to exit. The other way to exit was as soon as you reach some target, right? So let's say you have a target of 1% in a day, or 0.8% in a day, or whatever. So as soon as you reach that money, you can simply exit. Nobody will stop you. So in this case, that's what which happened. While I did not have a written target today, but then I thought, okay, I should exit here so that I will be able to focus on my other trades. In fact, after I exited, it went little up, but that's okay. I can't help much. In fact, it also went up here, but that's absolutely fine. Some days you'll have to really lose some of those little profits too for the better risk management. I think that's the trade here. Suppose if I do, let's say 15 minutes, let's see what happens. 15 minutes must have been losses today. The reason is the entry signal we got only here, which is about 10 o'clock. And then the exit is somewhere here. So you would probably lose money. But then, as I said, intraday, it is always advisable to use 5 minutes or even 3 minutes. 3 minutes only challenges, you might get a lot of signals, so it won't be really good. But if you use 5 minutes. Now, let's say you wanted to take less risk or you want to have less signals, the way which you can do is you can go here and then go to input, and then you can change these parameters. Instead of 4, let's say you do 5, for instance. Then some of these things will obviously change. So you will get less signals, and then you can also change. The 14 is normal one. Let's say you can also do 21. Let's say 7 also you can do. So this will drastically change. So you got an entry signal here, and then exit is somewhere here at about 230, again 230. So you can play around whatever works for you. That's the reason I always said that pick up these parameters depending on your risk appetite and how many signals you would like to do, right? For example, somebody says that I do not want to have too many signals. I just want to have probably 1 or 2 signals in a day. Then you go here and then change the super trend. So let's say this is 14. Let's make it as 7, double to this. Now, yeah, you got one signal here, and then you got one more at 230. There is not much of a change. I think this is so. If you look at this day, right? I think this day there were too many signals. So, but if you use this kind of a thing, there are absolutely one signal only. But 7, I think normally we do not use. We'll mostly use 4 or 5. It's depending on your how many signals you would like to do. And you can also, for instance, let's say you just came that day and then you just logged in at about let's say 11:45, and then you do not know what to do, right? So you try to adjust the let's say you want to take somewhere, trade somewhere here, right? So you try to adjust the these parameters and then see if you are able to get an entry signal. You can play around this. There is nothing right or wrong, but only thing is your entry and exit got to be dependent on the same parameters. That's all. That is the only trick that you need to do. But you can always induce the signals into this particular thing. I mean, not only this one, any trade that you take, right? You can always change the parameters and then see if you're able to get the signals, whatever you want. So, I mean, technically you can take this trade at any point of time, but you can change the, for example, let's say if I do 14:1, for instance. Yeah, so it gave multiple signals, right? So it's very cumbersome. So it probably would not give anything to you. Let's say, let's try this one. This also, let's say you just logged in at about, let's say 12:10, and you are not getting any signals. You can change these parameters and then get some signal. But the only thing is your entry and exit got to be on the same parameters. That's the only trick that you need to really do. All right, I think that's all on this particular indicator. It's very simple, and I'm actually working on a few other things, and I will definitely keep you posted once these are all done. So suppose if somebody is very long term and then they just wanted to do something for, let's say, August expiry and then do that, right? So they can simply do this, go to one day, and then now August actually it gave a bull put spread somewhere on 23rd at 23rd 269. You simply enter this and then leave it there, and then it will automatically generate a lot of money. You can also reduce the signals here. Let's say 4 here, right? So let's do 4. It will reduce number of signals. The only thing is this kind of things, there's going to be overnight risk that you need to be really careful. But even suppose if you take from 16th April, right? 16th April, so 7th April, we had the Trump tariff thing. After 16th April, we had Operation Sindhur somewhere here, I think, and I think we had Iran-Iraq war. Nothing happened to this trade. Iran-Iraq war somewhere, I think, this time period, June first week, I think. So I think it actually sustained pretty much all the bigger events in the world, right? So I think there are one big war, India-Pakistan. There is one big war, India-Israel, and then right now it is here. So long term also can apply. There is nothing like you should only do for short term or whatever. I mean, this is what I created, but you can also build your own thing. There is nothing stops you, depending on your risk appetite and other things. You'll be able to build something on your own. I think that's all from my end for now. I know it's a short live stream. I mean, I prefer live stream mainly because it would be easy for me to take any questions rather than doing a sophisticated video. And also, this will save a lot of time for me. Otherwise, video editing would take it's like 1 or 2 hours, right? So even if I do 1 or 2 mistakes here, I can correct straight away. All right. So any other questions any of you have? The beauty of the spread is you get the time decay advantage. Suppose if you do a neck buy or a neck sell, I mean neck sell also you will get definitely, but then neck sell I would never encourage. The reason is in case if there is a reversal, I do not want it to lose a lot of money. The reversal got to be definitely decent. You should not lose a lot of money. It got to be very graceful reversal. So if there is an impact, you should be able to take that impact. If there is a profit, you will take the profit. So the beauty of spread is with the time, when the time passes, you will automatically make money. So that's the reason you should. This indicator, in fact, works in the both the momentum and also on the sideways. Yeah, it will definitely work on the range bound. That's what which I explained. In fact, if you study the option Greeks well, maybe I'll take one session down the line, and you will really understand the beauty of options, right? So I think probably I would not suggest to use this on the intraday, a day like today, while it's sustained day like today, but then ideally we should not use day like today. And also, if you have observed today, I actually took the trades of next week, sorry. I think they are there somewhere here. So I did not take the trades of this. So these are all the July trades, right? So I did not take this week's trade. The reason is, let's see, even if I do one mistake, or even if this goes into loss, I have another 5-6 days to recover it. And this is my test account, right? I can always move some money here and then do a bit of martingale and then get this sorted out. So you would mostly not lose much money out there. So do not do the immediate or the current week. Let's say today, ideally, you should not take July 3rd as an expiry. You should always take the next week as the expiry. You can't use, no, this wouldn't work for option buying, Arvind. It wouldn't give you much of a money. But however, having said that, it would work on very long options. For instance, let's say this would work, for instance, this one, right? This would work on December options. So if you go on and buy, let's say December end options, you would make some money out there because the theta would be absolutely negligible for December options. You will definitely make money. But I would never expect you to buy today's options. You would end up losing money. But if you have a long time frame, right? Even I think this would work for even August options. Let's look at this one, right? Let's say if somebody is buying August, this is on April 16th, right? So let's look at August. 50 August, let's say 20 in the money, right? So let's look at in the money 23,000 call option. Where is Aug? Call option. Let's look at call option. This one. So let's look at it, right? So this is April 16th. April 16th was an expiry. We had a good spike that I remember. Unexpected spike rather. On April 17th, I think we had, not 16th. April 17th we had, yeah. April 17th was an expiry. Suppose if we take this one, right? So this is okay. So it was actually not active at that point of time. Let's look at July. Call. Okay, all right. So let's look at this. Okay, this is July 3rd. Sorry. This one. So this we should check. This must have been active at that point of time. All right. So if you look at this, right? So April, this is not there. Okay, April 20. Okay, even let's say if you entered here, it was like 1717 and it moved to 2497, which is I think it's a good money. I will also check the June option. I think June must have been active at that point of time. June 2300 call option. So this is, oh, this is July, right? No, I can't see that. So I think June anyway expired, right? So will not. That's anyway that you will make money. As I said, I had shown here, even if you entered on 25th April, that is still an up move here. So you would make definitely some money. But I personally would not suggest you to use this for option buying because it wouldn't help you much. The advantage of, let's say, if the market is consolidating, you would end up losing money. But having said that, if you do the in the money option buying, you would get an advantage of intrinsic value. So you would still make some money. But as I said, the thumb rule, do not use for option buying. Let's take Kalyan Puma. Thank you for sharing the indicator, Ravi. I took few trades on July month and contracts and able to make 0.3 returns. Okay, that's fantastic. Do you backtest this strategy? No. So backtest, I personally do not believe in. The reason, I'll tell you multiple things, right? So backtest, today, I think most of the platforms, they do offer. So first thing is backtest in the options, combination of this is actually applied on the index, right? So applying indicator on the index and then doing the backtest, that is still manual. So you'll have to do manual entries. There is no platform that would offer that kind of a backtesting. That's the first thing. The second one is most of the backtesting platforms, they do offer the 1 minute data, right? Not the tick by tick data. So within 1 minute, a lot of miracles can happen. So that won't be very accurate. And I would actually suggest any strategy that you take, do not do back testing. Always do forward testing, and maybe do not do for 1 year forward testing because by the time the strategy itself will be gone, right? So maybe do for 1 or 2 weeks, and then if you feel that you are very comfortable with the strategy, then you should put the real money. Or otherwise, if you do not want to spend that time in the forward testing, you just put 1 or 2 lots and then test it, and then you might make some money, you might lose some money. But if you put real money, usually you would probably remember the impact a lot more. No, I think this would work on the stock FNO, but the stock FNO, the only challenge is the liquidity would be not so good. Usually the spread in most of the Nifty options is like 5 paisa, especially if they're very close, right? So, or even 10 paisa, right? So, but then if you look at stock options, the spread would be 20 paisa, 30 paisa, even for Reliance, some of those stocks. So that's the reason I wouldn't suggest you to do it on the stock. But stock options, maybe I'll show you a couple of strategies that I did in the recent days. I'm not sure if it is against SEBI's regulations, but I'll surely show one. Can you please tell about the spread parameters which want to sell by? Okay, so I think this question somebody else also asked. I do not want to really uh, prescribe anything, but ideally you can pick up at the ATM. Generally, I do at the ATM, but then if you're not very comfortable, I think the easiest way is let me 1 second. I'll show you. If you're not very comfortable with the ATM, I think one more thing that you can do is I'll tell you 1 second. I will log into Sensible now. All right, so I'm on Sensible right now. Let's say if you're not very sure which spread you have to take, simply take this as the sell and then maybe this as the buy. That way you have at least the OA support here, right? So open interest support, and you have plenty of days. For example, if you're doing 10th July, you can take this trade. Suppose morning I took the trade because the Sensex was somewhere here, right? So I thought, okay, 25,200 would be a good support. That's the reason I took 25,200, and then I took a little far ahead thing. But then generally, you can definitely take this one. Suppose if you take this trade, right? So let's do the strategy build up. So you simply this is the bull put spread. So simply go here and then pick up this one. This is the highest OI. So you simply do this and then do this, and then that's all. You're good. So this shows how much percentage. This doesn't show any percentage. Why? Okay, let me put 100 quantity. Anyway, some numbers are not. It's about 70 for a. Okay, I think probably this got disabled. Maybe Sensible is running some jobs. I'm not very sure. But anyway, so this is what you can do if you're in dilemma. But then if you want to take some risk, you can definitely get on to ATM. But then if you have ATM, let's say 5,000 was ATM, but do not go too far of hedge. You should stay very close. Your hedge got to be very close. The reason is if you lose, it's like 0.82, right? So you gain 6 lakhs, but you lose about 8 lakhs here. So this is for the risky traders, but then if you wanted to play safe, I think you'll have to go a little far behind. And also see, the important thing is the probability, right? So now it says about 75. At least if you want to take risk, you can go pretty much like 50%, which is like delta. If you look at that, it's going to be 0.5. Yeah, 0.5. Suppose if you go here, delta would be 0.5 mostly. Let's go to Greeks. Yeah, 0.46, right? So you can go a bit more close also. Yeah, play around. There is I mean, I do not want to prescribe saying that, okay, take this delta, take the delta, because each one of you will have your own risk appetite. So that's the reason. So yeah, so 0.5. So usually I'll tell you the significance of delta is at the ATM, that is always 50. Let's ATM is this one, right? Yeah, I think somewhere here. So let's take it as 50. The reason is what it says is the delta is 50. What it means is there is a 50% chances that this can become in the money, and there is also 50%, 50% chance that it can also become out of the money. So that's the reason at the ATM this is always 0.5. And then the lower you go, the probability will increase. So now what it says is, suppose if you are here, 25,100, what it says is there is 80% probability that it will expire in the OTM. There is 20% probability that this will become ITM. So that's how you would look at the delta. So that calculation is very important for you. All right. So is this only for Nifty 50 or yeah? I mean, ideally you can use for Nifty 50, Sensex, and then the Bank Nifty. But no, I mean, you can use for stocks also. But as much as possible, stocks got its own issues, right? So do you place orders manually? I use trade flow. Uh, so especially intraday, I use trade flow, but all the stock options I do manually. For intraday expiry, trading to use trade flow. Yeah, absolutely. I think Kalyan got it right. So I use trade flow. How do you get this code? Prabhu, ping me on Twitter. I'll share the link. In fact, I can share the link here also. Let me get that straight away for you. All right, you can find the link here. That's easy. Okay, so Hemant, I think I know Hemant. What would the value between? Yeah, so I just explained this, right? So it all goes with your risk appetite and also the condition of the market. There is thing is I do not want to prescribe saying that okay, take this delta, that delta, right? So for instance, now let's say today if I have to take trade, in fact I closed a lot of my positional trades today because it's a very conditional thing, right? There are a lot of environmental factors. So a couple of things, right? So one is US holiday tomorrow, so there's going to be less activity, but then there is also news that there is an India deal or whatever. So when you have that kind of a thing, while technical analysis says that to go on and take this trade, but you also need to be cognizant that something is going to happen in the world, right? So if it happens, you will lose a lot, which if it goes against you. But then if it doesn't happen, that's okay. You might probably lose potential profit, but you're not going to get into losses. So that's which is important. Yeah, I know it's been many months since I did the live stream. Full-time trader wants to learn more about from you. I already completed how to join a Traders Club. So Traders Club, ping me in Twitter, and then you'll have to be active trader. I would ask you to share the trade book for last 6 months or 12 months, and I can be part of it. Does this work in scalping? No, it doesn't work in scalping. Absolutely. Once we achieve the target, can we go ahead for the next week, monthly trade? Of course, yeah, you can always use the capital wisely. So, no, I think once you exit the target, my suggestion is to wait for a new signal because I mean, wait for the new signal since not for the same trade, but if you're doing for one more trade, maybe change some parameters and then see if you can get the new signal. But yeah, once you exit, I think it's better to keep quiet. So today, that's what I did. I was in intraday. I was in almost like 2.4 lakhs profit, and then after so much of a shuffle, it went to minus 40K, I think. Then I said that I mean, usually I fight back, but then today I felt if I get back to zero, I'll just close it. So it came back to 963 rupees profit or whatever. Then I closed it. So I think that's a good decision. Some days we'll have to take those hot calls. Maybe I would have gotten a 2 lakhs back, or otherwise I would have probably lost 2 lakhs. So, but that's okay. That's absolutely all right. How to automate this? So you can automate actually. So suppose if you have, there are a lot of brokers, right? So I think I can't see here, but then you can integrate with the webhook. I think there is an option of notifications. I did not do personally. I usually tend to do, where is the notifications? Any of you know where is the notifications? So no, I can't find. I'll let you know. There is a way to automate this using the, I think here. Let's no, symbol status. Using the webhook, you can see. Yeah, so you can set it on TradingView. There is a concept called webhook. You can do that, but ideally, indicator based. There could be some lag between the TradingView and then the actual thing, right? Especially if you're doing the expiry trades. Okay, right click on the chart. Is it settings? I'll find it out. I definitely remember seeing that, but I'll find it out. So you can do that, but I think ideally I would expect you to probably build your own algo where you will calculate these automation and other things. And I'm actually I'm not telling the broker name right now, but I'm working with one broker in based out of Bangalore to give these indicators as part of the API. So that is work in progress right now. Once that is ready, I will definitely let you know how to do some of these things. It will be, life would be a lot more easy. All right. So to understand how to control emotions and expiry date trading, just the thing is, it's my view. There is no easy way. You will learn from the mistakes. You'll have to go through that pain. You'll have to go through that pretty much everything, right? So then only you will be able to get there. So can we use this in conjunction with CPR so that, yeah, of course, you can always use it. And suppose if I apply the CPR here. So you can actually, CPR is a very beautiful, I think this is not coming. CPR with the pivot levels. Oh my God, so many. Why there are so many? This is very confusing CPR. Any good CPR? I use actually Kite for the CPR. Okay, this is good. This is good. Let's look at, let's say 5 minutes, right? So you can actually see a trending CPR, for instance. I think it got only 3. So I mean, you can do that, but I did not integrate right now. So that's absolutely, you can use it. No, nothing wrong in it. All right. I think that's all the questions. So if I missed anyone, I'm not very sure. Let me go back to. Okay, how can ROI, how much ROI I think we can expect per trade, and should we close the day we are doing intraday through indicator does not give. Of course you should close it. So there is no right or wrong. Generally, as I said, this account I usually close because this is very small account, right? So I, you can simply close and then wait for one more signal tomorrow. There is no need to do any trades. CPR by KGS. Okay. Anyway, we are done with the CPR for now. Can we trade it with 1,000? What is 10,000? 10,000. Trade it with 10,000. Is that money or parameters? I'm not very sure. Mid 04. I'm not very sure about your question. If you are saying can we trade with rupees 10,000, my answer would be no. Do not do that. Sir, can you speak in Hindi? My Hindi is very bad, so the only time that I learned Hindi was in the school until 10th. So I passed the exam, but after that, not much of a practice. So, all right, I think that's a very good set of questions, and maybe I'll quickly show one stock strategy which is live right now, and then maybe I'll explain the rationale and then close the day for today. Where is this? Let's look at the BL, which is, we'll probably pick up one successful trade and then see. So this is a strategy. This is not an intraday or whatever. It is absolutely positional strategy, and then you just take it once and then leave it there. So this is basically BEL, right? So BEL, if you look at this is basically the combination of some bit of a fundamental and then the technical analysis. So suppose if you look at 1-day chart, it has reached pretty much peak in the recent days. It's reached all-time high, I think 52-week high or whatever, somewhere here. And then it again went back, another thing. So now the rationale for this trade is very important. So because it already reached all-time high, my expectation is that it will not actually breach the all-time high again. So that's the reason I had, in fact, okay, let me. So the way which you build the strategy, that's very important, right? So first you look at what are the places it can't touch. This is one place that I think it will not touch, which is 450. Currently, I took this trade when Bell was about 410, I think. So this is the trade. This I believe it will not touch. Now you come to this is like for sure you will not touch. So it's about 76% probability. Now you go to one more step. This may mostly touch. This may also mostly touch because these are all like 410 and then 400, right? So while BL was 410 or 418, I took this trade. So there is obviously this is in the money, right? So it can definitely touch. In order to protect these, you would actually buy something, which is this one, 390 CE, so that you will not. So suppose if I do not have this, what happens if it actually goes here? You will get into a lot of losses. So to protect these two, you will have to put a buy a protection here, which is buy. But then see, you are actually getting into losses here in case if it comes down, right? You are getting into losses. So to gain some more money there, you get into this one. So you have some more time to travel. So it's basically here what is happening. You are getting losses as soon as it breaches 396. This is for the falling case. But then when you do this, you actually have a little bit more time. You got another 20 rupees to cover there. So you have some more time to travel. So when you have a long time to travel, what happens? Let's say it comes here, right? So you have plenty of place here. So you can simply go on and sell, let's say something here, let's say 10 or maybe more than that. It's up to you depending on your risk appetite, right? So you can build around that. So this is one way to build some. I mean, this is doesn't need an indicator, so you just need to play around. So as I said, first you start with where it can't reach at all, and then slowly look at where it can reach these two, and to protect these two, you buy a hedge, and to reduce, let's say if it can come down. If it comes down, you do not want to get into too many losses, so you go and then sell this. So this is one strategy which I did sometime. I think this almost like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I think it gave good money so far. 2 weeks gave about 4% for a capital of about 10 lakhs. So I think 4% is okay for 2 weeks. All right. So I think that's all. Let me. Sir, I have seen you initiating a meet for traders regular interactions. Is there any such? No, I came to Hyderabad only once. So this was back in September last year. I couldn't travel after that. In fact, I traveled during the Christmas time, but then I was little occupied. No, I did not travel. Sorry, I did not travel at all after that. That was last time. But when I come, I'll definitely let you know. You said you were initiating in Bangalore. Yeah, Bangalore, we will definitely meet. We had multiple meetings, and one last query. Let's look at. As you are sharing this indicator, don't you think the effectiveness of it reduce? It will not reduce. The reason is, see, we are only millions of trades happen in the world, right? Or even in India. We are only small set of people, so why would it win? And also, this is basically works on the properties of the options, right? So it's like gravity. Options also got the properties which nobody can change. So that will work. So today, right, if you pick up any moving average indicator, that will still work, though it has been there for many years. It will still work. So there is nothing in it to worry. All right. So it's basically I'll put an analogy, right? So as I said, gravity. Just because people know that an apple would fall, it doesn't mean that because more number of people know it will not fall, right? It will still fall. That's a property. So you just can't change. All right. So that's all. I think, oh, okay, it's 45 minutes. And thanks to all of you for joining, and much appreciated. Have a great weekend. Not weekend. We got one more week, one more day. And then let's see. So will you daily come live? Oh, I always want to do that, but then the only reason I quit the corporate job was to have a bit of a free life. And anything to thing is, if I start doing that, I would have to do it pretty much daily. and I'll have to sacrifice quite a bit on the personal front, right? So I thought about it, and I felt I'm not ready for that kind of a commitment. The thing is, if I start something, I have to do it regularly. I do not want to miss out. Maybe if I find something where I can spend time without losing anything, I will definitely try to do. No, I think that's okay. We can always share the views of the market. Say we can't do anything. Just that I can't say that go on and sell this stock or sell this call, right? So that we can't do much. All right. So that's all from my end. Have a great remaining day. Take care. Bye-bye.